Hello, everyone. You are welcome to Anchor Network, where you get reliable and authentic news that are so crucial to you. I say big thank you to everyone who has been part of this channel and who has taken time to subscribe. And if you are yet to subscribe, I say please click the red subscribe button and also the bell icon. The bell icon will allow you to get notified anytime we publish any news.
Over 400 Nigerians ready for evacuation as South Africans embark on fresh protest. The Nigerian mission on South Africa has said that no fewer than 400 Nigerians have indicated interest and registered to be evacuated from South Africa following the recent xenophobic attacks. Nigeria's Consul General in Johannesburg, Godwin Adama, said this in a telephone interview with News Agency of Nigeria on Sunday in Abuja. Adama noted that Air Peace had offered to airlift those willing to return home, sequel to the attacks on Nigerians and their businesses by South Africans. According to him, the first batch of Nigerians who are willing to return home will be repatriated on Wednesday. We have more than enough for that aircraft. Over 400 Nigerians have already registered, more are still coming, he said. The Nigerian High Commissioner to the South Africa, Kabiru Bala, also said that Nigerians had responded positively in good numbers. Bala said that the mission was equally responding to the needs of those willing to return, especially those who had issues with their documents. We are documenting them. Those without travel documents, we shall provide them with emergency travel certificates. There are other governmental procedures that we must observe. Relevant agencies of government in Nigeria must be informed and must be ready to receive the returnees. Hard work is now going on at the High Commission and consulates in this regard. As soon as all procedures and relevant protocols are observed, the return is assured and guaranteed. A little more patience will be helpful. The response of Nigerians is just amazing, Bala said. President, Nigeria Citizens Association, South Africa, Ben Okoli, said all efforts were geared towards the evacuation of those who were ready to come back home. Okoli said the figure of those ready to come was in hundreds, and many had lost their means of livelihood and had nothing to fall back on. The consulate is sorting out issues of documents. Nigerians are being registered and issued with the necessary travel documents to enable them make a trip to Lagos. Some lost their passports in their homes and businesses from the fire that gutted it, while others had their documents and properties stolen by locals, he said. The association said was the association, he said, was still pushing ahead the demand of compensation as there was sufficient evidence available to them that the attacks were premeditated and orchestrated. He also noted that normalcy was gradually returning, stressing that there was no longer tension or violence against any set of people. The violence and hostility have ceased. Many Nigerians were, however, affected by the crisis, and lots have been highly distressed with nothing to fall back on. So some of those affected have decided to call it quits and go back to Nigeria. Presently, we are collating the data of Nigerians that are to be evacuated back to Nigeria. We have it on good record that the first batch will be leaving on Wednesday. He commended President Muhammadu Buhari's efforts in sending a special envoy to South Africa. Okoli said that the move was able to boost the morale of the Nigerian community to go about their normal businesses without fear or molestation or attacks. We have actually regained some strength knowing that our government is backing and supporting us, especially at this time. So we are no longer afraid because we believe that so long we are doing the right thing and the lawful thing, we have nothing to fear. This might not be unconnected to the recent protests in South Africans against foreigners, as report has it that a fresh round of violence is currently building up in the streets of Johannesburg, South Africa, as armed protesters have hit the streets, demanding that foreigners should return to where they came from. According to Sowetan Live, a South African newspaper, the protesters who carried weapons such as knob carries are waiting to be addressed by the Mangosuthu Buthelezi, a notable politician and Zulu tribe leader. This is coming 1 week after attacks on foreigners sparked reactions across the continent. Nigeria, Rwanda, and Malawi had pulled out of the World Economic Forum, which held in South Africa, while Zambia cancelled an international friendly match with South Africa over the violence against foreigners. So, guys, what do you actually think of this? In my opinion, I feel like South Africa's is in Nigeria be protected by Nigerian government should also vacate Nigeria with immediate effect, and all businesses belonging to them declared Nigerians property immediately. It should also be noted that South Africans are interested in retaining professionals like doctors, nurses, engineers, and others because because they are useful to them. Nigerian government should facilitate the return of those professionals by providing enabling environments for their return. I think by doing so, South Africans will feel the impact of sending our people away. It's just painful to come back home for. It's painful that South Nigerians in South Africa have to come back home with nothing and all their belongings and all their businesses um just left in South Africa. Also, I think those Nigerians returning home should not blame the South African government fully, but the failure of the past successive leaders and politicians in Nigeria to embark on meaningful economic programs to boost employment opportunity for everyone. All these are people's reactions to this. I believe that Nigerians should come back, and also, if there is crime, crime should be fought against everyone. Not it should not be based on color of your skin. And it's really weird that in Africa we need visas to go around because at the end of the day, foreign nationals just implies that we don't belong in Africa as one. And Trevor Noah pointed that there are about 6,000 European families who own over 85% of agricultural lands in South Africa. And so, from his opinion, he feels that South Africans claiming that other Africans are competing with them on dwindling and scarce resources shows that their anger and outrage is actually misplaced. Quote, Trevor Noah said, I don't see fellow Africans as a competitor, but a fellow compatriot who is struggling to feed his family and have some comfort in this short lifetime. In the words of Trevor Noah, he says, Your anger and outrage is misplaced. African immigrants do not own lands, don't run companies, don't own mining companies, don't operate trophy hunting companies, do not ship capital to European banks, which Trevor Noah said, and which I believe is very, very true. The thing is, if Nigerians want to leave South Africa, they should, because as fresh protests are rising and South Africans demanding that foreign nationals, basically mostly Nigerians, should leave, they should also not be angry when in other countries we force South Africans to leave. In the same way, they should not also be angry when other countries demand that South African investors and businesses leave because since they want the isolated life, then we'll leave them alone. For Nigerians that are choosing to stay back in South Africa, if they feel that they can handle it, fine. But since there is a solution that Air Peace is actually trying to bring Nigerians in South Africa back to Nigeria, I feel like Nigerians should just come back home because it's not really worth staying there where it's a matter of life and death. So that's why I think. Please put your comments down below. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and also comment down what you think of the current situation.